You know what it feels like. You're not even hungry. The day is winding down, the lights are low, and somehow you find yourself standing in front of the pantry. You open a bag, promise yourself you'll have just a few, and before you know it, the bag is empty. What happened? Most people blame a lack of discipline. But the truth is much stranger. The reason you can't stop eating junk food has almost nothing to do with willpower. The answer is buried roughly 2.5 million years in the past. Your brain is running ancient software in a modern world. For most of human history, food wasn't abundant. It wasn't sitting in cupboards, refrigerators, and convenience stores waiting to be eaten. Food had to be found. It had to be hunted, gathered, dug up, or chased down. And sometimes it wasn't available at all. Anthropologist Daniel Lieberman of Harvard has spent years studying how ancient diets shaped the human body. His conclusion is simple. Our cravings are not a flaw. They are an adaptation, one that worked incredibly well. Ancient humans lived in a feast and famine world. When food was available, eating as much as possible was often the smartest survival strategy. The next meal might be hours away, days away, or never arrive at all. As a result, evolution rewarded humans who craved calorie-dense foods, sugar, fat, salt. These weren't treats. They were survival tools. Finding them triggered powerful reward signals in the brain because those foods dramatically increased the chances of surviving the next famine. That reward system is still operating today. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge has shown that high-calorie foods activate powerful dopamine pathways deep within the brain's reward circuitry. Dopamine doesn't just create pleasure, it creates desire. It makes you want more before you're even finished with what you're already eating. That's why stopping often feels harder than starting. And the situation gets worse when modern food enters the picture. In nature, sugar, fat, and salt rarely occur together in high concentrations. Fruit contains sugar, but very little fat. Meat contains fat and protein, but almost no sugar. Your brain evolved in a world where these rewards were limited. Then modern food manufacturers changed the game. In the 1970s, researcher Howard Moskowitz introduced the concept of the bliss point. The bliss point is the precise combination of sugar, fat, and salt that makes food exceptionally difficult to stop eating. Not the most delicious, the most irresistible. In other words, scientists learned how to trigger ancient reward systems more effectively than nature ever could. Your brain never evolved defenses against this. It never needed them. When your ancestors found something sweet, it was usually fruit. When they found fat, it required effort to obtain. Today, those rewards arrive perfectly engineered, packaged, and available 24 hours a day. Your ancient brain responds exactly as it was designed to. Eat more, store energy, prepare for scarcity. The problem is that scarcity never comes. Researchers call this an evolutionary mismatch. The environment changed faster than biology could adapt. The instincts that once helped humans survive now operate in a world overflowing with food. Even your body's ability to store fat may be connected to this history. In 1962, geneticist James Neal proposed the thrifty gene hypothesis. The idea was that populations repeatedly exposed to famine would pass along genes that became especially efficient at storing energy during times of abundance. The people who stored calories effectively were more likely to survive periods of starvation. Their descendants inherited those same advantages that can become liabilities in a world of constant abundance. And this is why willpower often loses the fight. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and self-control, is relatively new in evolutionary terms. The reward systems driving cravings are much older, much deeper, and much more practiced. When those ancient circuits activate, your modern reasoning brain often finds itself trying to negotiate with a survival system that has been winning arguments for millions of years. So the next time you reach into a bag of chips and feel that pull before you've even taken the first bite, remember this: that feeling isn't a character flaw. It isn't weakness. It's the echo of countless generations who survived because they listened to that urge. Your ancestors lived in a world where ignoring calorie-rich food could mean death. You live in a world where it can mean finishing the whole bag. The environment changed. The brain didn't. And that's the ancient reason junk food is so hard to resist.